Well, hello and welcome to round two of the NKC, and welcome to Forest Edge, the fabulous countryside track that is rarely used, but it's an absolute monster of a circuit. Joe, what do you think of this fantastic Forest Edge?
It's got to be one of the most beautiful, picturesque circuits that we come to. Round of the British Championship was here in 2019. Very, very fast and demanding track. It's going to be a big challenge, not just for the drivers. You know, I like to talk about the tyres and the engineering, and we are going to talk a lot about setups, but we are also going to see a lot of overtakes. There's a lot of switchbacks here that will disadvantage you and advantage you in places. And as ever, the NKC, I think, Nick, is going to deliver here at Forest Edge.
Yeah, and of course, a circuit which drivers don't often go to. It's not on that regular loop of Wilton Mill and Warden Law and Rowrah, which means they're going to have some unique perspectives. And to find out those unique perspectives, why? Joe Bradley is going to walk round the paddock.
Sam Wyatt here and his family team, Andy and his brother Ethan, stalwarts of the NKC. But here at Forest Edge, bit of a new track for you, Sam.
Yeah.
So what challenges does this new track bring?
It's a very flowy track, fast corners, and uses a lot of low down revs with the engines. It's all about keeping the speed up and not bogging the cart downs in the slow corners to then keep your momentum around all the rest of them.
Yeah, we like that word momentum, don't we? What I've seen, there's a lot of places where you're coming out of the corner, you've got to get it back across the opposite side of the track where you are, and that's going to open up gaps. So it's going to race completely different to how you drive it in like a practice or a qualifying session.
Yeah, definitely. Especially in turns 3 and 4, it's a quick right-left, and obviously depending on how you take the corner, depends on your exit speed, and then if we're slower into it, faster out, and then you might get a run down into the bottom corner and overtake there.
Is that something that's going to be at the forefront of your mind going into race day tomorrow?
Well, yeah, definitely if it's dry, but it looks like it's going to be rather wet.
Well, actually, it's going to be intermittent. It's all going to, when this goes out tomorrow afternoon, of course, we're going to know. But are you ready for the wet? Have you been here in the wet before, perhaps?
No.
Oh, new experience then.
Yeah. At the end of the day, wet's all down to the driver, really. So you'll see who's quick at the end of the day.
Do you like that? Do you like the wet being a leveller?
It's definitely a lot harder mentally, but physically it's a lot easier. Yeah, we'll see what we're like for setup. We haven't got any for wet at all, but hopefully it stays dry.
One quick question. You and your family have been part of this championship for a few years now. Are you still enjoying it?
Yeah, it's still great fun. Even off the track with friends. It's good fun, really, the whole weekend.
Yeah.
Last night was good. Dad was on the beers.
That's what dads do.
Yeah. But no, it's still very friendly.
Yeah.
Very friendly.
Thanks, Sam. I'll let you go now.
Thank
Sam's
you.
about to go out, and and good luck tomorrow, mate.
Thank you.
Cheers. So this guy next to me has been around the NKC paddock for a few years now. Matt Nibbs is always what I thought he was called, and I've just found out right now that's not your actual name, is it?
No.
What is it?
My actual name is Matt Isaacs. Nibs was a nickname I got given to me when I used to play football years ago, and it's sort of stuck now throughout my whole life.
It absolutely has, because now he's got, this is what Nib Sport is Matt's team. Now Matt, I'm here in your awning, and there is a lot going on. How many drivers are you running?
So we've got 12 this weekend. We've got 6 juniors, 5 seniors, and then the 177. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's pretty hectic.
Yeah. So all right, I'm not going to ask you to choose your favourite child or driver, I should say. But what class is the easiest to contend with?
I'd probably say the 177, really. Only because there's one of them.
Yeah, and he's old enough to look after himself, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly that. And obviously they've been doing the sport long enough to understand certain things and stuff like that. The juniors I find quite easy. I mean, I've looked after juniors for a numerous amount of years. It's just, I feel like the kids, I get a lot of respect from the kids, and that, and they listen, and certain ones do, certain ones don't. But we sort of build up a bit of a relationship and a bit of almost like a father-son relationship with them, and then that sort of carries through then in the senior.
I've always found it stronger than that, because as a parent you've got no credibility with your own kids, but you will have credibility from the very outset because you're the team manager.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the amount of parents that come into the team, and I tell them what to do, and they go, I've been telling them that for years. And they never listen to what I told them, but they do it straight away when you tell it to them. Yeah. And it was the same. I was the same when I used to race when I was a junior. My dad would tell me to do something, and I'd be like, "What do you know?" Do you know what I mean?
That's right.
And it wasn't until he got me a proper mechanic and the driver coach and stuff, and then that was it. And it just clicked. And, yeah.
Credibility. Yes. Yeah.
Exactly that.
12 carts. How many engines have you got to service these 12 then?
So we've got fantastic support from AAM, Ayrton Anderson Motors.
Where are they based?
So they're based in Bath. Right. They're here obviously giving us trackside support. And yeah, he looks after all of our kit, motors, carbs, exhausts, etc. Dynos and rebuilds them. So anything we need to get sorted out, we give it to Air, drop it off to him. He brings it to the circuit for us.
And that is actually during a race weekend if needs be as well, is it?
Yeah. He can do top end rebuilds in his van. Do you know what I mean? He's doing any replacement in gears or anything like that, or carburetor problems. He's there. He's in his van waiting to go to deal with everyone's problems. We try not to give him a hard time.
Yeah. Well, your engine man is really important, isn't it? Yeah. Tyres in the NKC always a talking point. Mm-hmm. The organisers, though, Matt, they're getting on top of things. They're trying their best, but there's still people who, shall I say, trying to twist the regulations and push the regulations to the very edge. But that's common, isn't it?
That's motorsport, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Everyone, no matter what rules you make, there's always someone's going to try and find a loophole or whatever. For me, like this weekend's been really tough, like in practice, because I think it's a very tyre-dependent circuit, very much like Clay Pigeon is. So there's a lot of people testing on new tyre or two sets of new tyres, and then there's some of us, that we're on the tyres we used at the last round on the practice day. It's done 2 days plus yesterday, plus the sessions today, and then the hardest bit is maintaining the kids' confidence and. Right. Because they're looking at their lap times, they're going, I'm a second off. Yeah. And then you go bolt a new set of tyres on, and there's your second. Do you know what I mean? So it's tough, and to sort of know where you are on pace when you've got such a difference in tyre. I think it will level out at certain tracks. Like I think at Mansell, it will be a little bit closer between the old and new tyre. It's not a tyre-dependent track like this is. Right. But yeah, that's the hardest thing with the tyre is the testing bit. Trying to know where everyone is at, if you know what I mean.
And by the way, I wasn't trying to point the finger at you when I was saying twisting the regulations. So during the practice session, it's kind of like almost irrelevant what people are doing. It all comes to be tomorrow when everyone's on the set of tyres that they're at round one.
Yeah, exactly that. I mean, obviously at round one, it was a little bit easier to test on because you're racing on new tyre. So all of us, we tested on new tyre to get the setup. Obviously, this time round, we're on a set of tyres that have done 3 heats and a final at Clay Pigeon, which we know is a track that is hard on the tyre. Yeah. So they are more worn. So testing on new tyre for us really is a little bit irrelevant and giving us a false hope. Yeah. Obviously, some of us today in the awning have had to go new because they've had no other sort of tyres. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think it's a suggestion. I'd like to do what the British Kart Championship used to do in 2019. Mm-hmm. Where they used to say you had to use your race tyres from the round previous for your practice tyres for the round, the next round, and then maybe go to a new set every round. I know obviously they're trying to keep it cost effective, and obviously that's what draws in the big grids. Yeah. But like I said, most people will go new once anyway during practice, so I don't think it will alter the entry level personally myself.
Yeah, but it's still that one set of tyres for 3 rounds. Yeah. But that becomes very complex when you've got a customer, i.e. a driver, saying to you, I want to bang a new set on the Friday, and you're trying to tell them how irrelevant that is. And is that quite common?
Yeah, it is quite common. I've got a few chins on the floor in here today. They're people that are kids that are used to being right at the front, and they're sort of like 10th, 11th, and I'm like, look, don't worry about it. We know where we're at. We're doing the right thing. If they're on new tyre, we know if we go new tyre, we can find this match. Yeah. But it's obviously just installing that confidence into the driver. So.
Matt, I'm going to leave you to it. I know you've got a very busy weekend. That's great insight. I know we talk on our commentary about the tyres a lot because, after all, it's all about the tyres, isn't
All
it?
about the tyres, yeah. I keep telling the drivers that. Oh, the cart's doing this. It's the tyre.
Yeah.
It's all about the tyre. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's all about the tyre.
He said it. I always say it. He said it as well. Newcomer to the junior Rotax class here in the NKC is Alfie McBain. He's on the number 78 and he's on the brand new Carlos Sainz 55 chassis. I've got to say, Alfie, I absolutely love this livery. You must be, that must be pretty cool though, on a Carlos Sainz chassis.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to be fair. I'm much quicker in the chassis. I was set the first pole position of all time, like nationally, in this chassis.
For you, that is, yeah?
Yeah, at Warden Law. I think it might be the first person to ever get pole in this chassis. But yeah, I love the chassis. I love the paintwork. It's really nice, to be fair.
Yeah, that it is. I love that livery out on track because I can spot it from a mile off, you see. Now then, you've already been out on practice.
Yes.
Is this the first time you've been to Forest Edge?
Yes, this is the first time I've been.
What's your thoughts on the track?
I really like it. There's lots of technical bits, but it's a pretty good track. Lots of grip and good competition.
Yeah. What's your favourite part of the track? Is there any?
It's probably the D chicane just back there. It's a very, there's some really big curbs, and if you hit them, you can go really wide, and it's really tricky, which is what I like about it.
Where am I going to see the most passing here at Forest Edge?
It will probably be just after the D chicane, probably the long right, just there. It's probably the easiest overtaking spot of the whole track.
You've got a good team behind you. You've got Adam there cleaning off your kart. Is the team support behind you important to you?
Yes, it's really important. They've given me lots of feedback, which has helped me immensely, especially with the steering where I put my hands. They put these cable ties on the steering wheel, so they make my hands go up because on the steering wheel, the cable ties are really sharp, so they make your hands go up, which then is because they want your hands to go up, which makes you faster.
Does that give you a better feel? Is that what they're trying to do for you?
It helps you get the kart to push, so you can get the jacking in the back wheel, which can get you around the corner faster.
Because you're in the small category in the junior class, aren't you? So it must be very hard for you to get that rear wheel to jack up. What we mean by jacking up is getting the rear wheel to lift, aren't we?
Yeah. Basically, when you jack, the back wheel lifts, which allows the kart, because that's just dragging all the way around the corner.
Yeah.
So if you get that to lift, you can go much faster around the corner.
Yeah, brilliant. You're looking forward to racing on this track? Because we've only practiced on it, haven't we? But we're going to be racing. By the time everybody sees this go out tomorrow, you'll have already started racing. You looking forward to that?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward that, like I said, there's some really good competition, hoping that I can get a good result and just hope for the best, really.
Yeah, brilliant. Now, we saw you out at Fullback last year. You're here for the first time. Are we going to see you at the remaining rounds in the NKC?
Yes, you will see me at Mansell. I don't know what the rest are, but I will be at the rest of the races.
Well, they're closer to where you live, I think. Where are you from again?
I am from Thirst, North Kilvington, so about 5 hours from here.
Yeah. It's a long way down here, isn't it, for us from the north?
Yeah, very far.
Yeah. Well done, Alfie. Well done on the practice sessions, and hopefully we'll see the CS55 out there on track later on. So 2 forms of engine here in the NKC. We've got our Rotax classes, and then you'll see the TKMs go out. 110cc, air-cooled, slightly different, well, a lot different actually to a water-cooled Rotax. Jim King here, you've been around the NKC for... Forever, let's leave it at that.
Only one to do the whole lot.
Now, you're the only one who's done the whole...
I've never missed a meeting.
Wow, that's incredible. So how many years is that?
Oh, decades, I don't know, 7, 8, I can't remember.
Yeah, it's incredible. Now, you were obviously a bit of a sadist, being around it that long and being around 2-stroke karting for that long, because once again, Jim, you've had an eventful practice session, haven't you?
Yes.
And we came upon you just when you were about to have a look at something. What's gone wrong?
Well, I was about to pull the top off my engine, I've seized it.
Right.
Going into the bus stop.
Right, we've seized a motor. What do we mean by that? Jim, this is the... Paul, that's the new motor going on. This is the offending motor that is seized. And what do we mean? Well, so 2-stroke, you are playing around with the fuel mixture, which has the oil in it. So you add the 2-stroke oil to your fuel, to your petrol basically, And then, as the motor is running and feeding off that petrol, it's got a residue of oil in there, which is where the motor is taking its lubrication from. And it's really hot right now. This is how on the ball we are. So we're going to lift the head off. You see these veins when we say air-cooled? This is just the whole body of the engine is much smaller because these aluminium veins is what dissipates the heat into the atmosphere. Air-cooled. That's why it's called air-cooled. So 4 nuts securing the cylinder head. That's the spark plug there. And Jim's just about to lift this off, and then we'll see what the damage is, and then we'll talk to Jim about the kind of costs implications. But yes, exactly. Jim, I have been in this situation so many times, and I've got to say I don't really miss it, to be honest.
I don't miss this bit.
No, we never did.
I'm not racing,
Yeah. So 4 nuts securing the TTM head. There's the branding there. And then we'll see just what Jim means by the bank balance is just how bad the seize is. Because you can have what I used to refer to as little nips, which is just basically the thing locks up, and when it cools down, it releases itself. Or if it's a really bad one, and Jim's not going to be telling the wife at all, is he? No. No, so there's the head. Right, Jim, we can... Now, you see, I don't know if Paul's camera can pick that up there, but you see that scoring there, that aluminium scoring. Now, that is residue off the piston. Could you lean that forward for the camera there, Jim? There's the top of the piston there, and that scoring mark there is where the piston has basically glued itself to the cylinder wall, and that's where it's locked up. And did that lock up coming into the chicane or going out?
Sort of halfway through.
Right, all right, so just... and.
It started to go on the way in, and I'm sort of committed. I've got nowhere to go, so I've had to just sort of sail on through.
Yeah, with a locked axle, because with a direct drive cart, when that engine stops,
And that's why, Joe.
And look at this, guys.
That's too lean, do I?
So that plug there is like the wrong shade of grey, isn't it?
It's the wrong side. It's the wrong shade of dark grey.
Yes, it should be a little bit darker than that.
Pilot
Yeah.
error.
Yes. Pilot mechanic error. You put the.
Same thing. It's the main pilot,
No,
same thing.
I know. So, roughly, just to give any ideas to people who want to go TTM racing, how much is that going to?
Arguably, the top end isn't the dear bit. It's the fact that it's gone down the bottom. There'll be aluminium down the bottom. It's in the big end. It's in the mains. So it's arguably it's a full rebuild.
Yes. So you've got to strip that engine completely down.
If I do it myself, it's about 600 quid.
Right, for parts.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how long will it take you?
Depends. Well, I look at the bank on when I get home.
Yeah. No, I mean.
It's a weekend's work for me. 'Cause
Yes.
I
Yeah.
get it all cleaned, and I've got to give the crank to a guy in Ringwood who does the cranks for me. So
Yeah.
but it's
But
it's not a massive amount of work, but it's
it's not a Cosworth DFV. It's not a Chevy V8, but it's still at the bane of our lives, aren't they?
and that was my best one.
Yeah. Oh dear, I don't want to hear it. Thanks, Jim. I'm going to leave you to it. I appreciate that.
I see.
Great stuff. Another familiar face in the junior road tax grid here in the NKC is Jasmine Taylor. Jasmine, you've just been out for practice, your first time here at Forest Edge. Is it a track that you've grown to like over the course of the day?
No, I don't like the track at all.
Why is that then?
It's just not my type of track style. It's really different to a lot of tracks. It's not similar to any tracks. Don't like it.
Really, it's not similar. I mean, from what I can see, there's a lot of fast bends there.
Yeah, it's a really fast track. You got to keep it flowing, but it's just not my type of style.
No. So you've only practiced. Do you think tomorrow's going to be different when you're actually racing wheel to wheel with other competitors?
I hope so, because obviously we've never raced here before. This is my 3rd day here. You're just hoping to get good championship points, to be honest. Yeah.
You know what, Jasmine? Isn't that a good thing when a driver says, I'm not happy with the track. I'm not happy with... I take it you're not happy with how you're going out there.
Well, no, because we're actually not doing bad. We're fast because most people have gone new tyre and we've stayed on the old rubber.
Right.
But looking at it, we're actually fast, but I just don't like the track.
Yeah, so if it's a track that you don't like and yet you're going well, maybe we should go to all the tracks you don't like.
Yeah.
Which other tracks do you not like?
Oh, this.
I'm only kidding, don't go through it. No.
Yeah.
You're with TH Corsa. Have you, I would imagine the team's going to be there to try and encourage you to start enjoying the track and helping you with setup and stuff, are they?
Yeah, they've tried a lot to get me to like the track. Obviously, the team have been here a lot, so that also helps having the good data and the good coaching. But they're just trying to help us get the way, like Lewis, Abby, Teddy, Tiernan, they're all trying their best to get us up the top.
You had a great first round, didn't you? You must have been thrilled when you were leaving Clear Pigeon.
Yeah.
Have you brought that momentum with you here to Forest Edge?
Well, yeah, so obviously we got second and it was a really, really good weekend. And then last weekend at Clay, we did really well with the WC. So we're on a streak.
Yeah.
So I just hope to keep it going well.
So you'll be happy by tomorrow afternoon, if you've had a good race, you'll begin to like Forest Edge, I bet.
I hope so.
Look at that face. Thanks, Jasmine. Thank you, mate.